So in this video, I'm going to share with you private placement programs, the other for this trade for 2021 and what you need to know about it. Hi, my name is Taimour Zaman from lineofcredit.ai. I know a little bit about private placement programs. I'm going to skip telling you the number of programs that we participated in. I'm going to skip telling you that I like to think we are one of the leading authorities in doing due diligence for our clients who want to get into private placement programs, and just tell you a little bit about the things you need to know for 2021. The trade or private placement programs was invented in the World War II by a US senator who didn't want the communism to grow in Europe. And he was looking for a vehicle for lack of a better word, democratic countries to have the funding they require to stand up by themselves without communism kind of taking over most of Europe kind of thing. So that's how the idea was, or the concept was originally invented. Private placement programs are truly private. There's 12 major platforms. Some of the major banks own their own private desks. Some of the richest families on the planet, like the Rothschild family as an example, have their own desk. And the best way I can describe it is something that I really can't describe. It's the ability to print money by pushing a button. And in all my professional legal career, I have no idea how I could even say that or describe it, but I'm just gonna say it's printing money on pushing a button, and that's the magic part of it. There is a person who is like, I think, an Indian origin, who has a lot of YouTube videos on YouTube on private placement programs, and I don't want to discredit anything he says, but the one thing that he does say that I would say is true and I agree with is for a few selected people. This is not something that is designed for the public to know about. There's a lot of unsaid communication in the private placement platform providers. For instance, if I have from certain origins, or if I'm from certain countries, the number of demand that there is to participate in this program is so much that they will skip you. And this has nothing to do with your sex or your religion or age or something like that. Just if you come from certain origins or certain countries, a lot of program directors that are authentic and real that I know simply would not want to work with you. And it has nothing to do with you. It's just whatever. Just want to skip working with. It's an unsaid communication. The program director will never call you or your attorney back, and that's just the end of that. So that's the first thing you want to know. Before COVID, my experience was 95% of these private placement programs, providers, platforms were fake, were unreal. The ones in Europe, for instance, were funding, the fake ones were funding organizations like ISIS. One of the things that I saw in the recent years was a bunch of wannabes showing up. People who said, yeah, setting up a private placement program is not that difficult. I need to set up an account with this institution, and I'm ready to go. And what I found was, although this is in due diligence that clients hired us to do, I found that, maybe the first week you got your 5%, 7%, 11%, whatever it was that was promised to you. Your second week you got paid, but third week the guy never returned your call back. And the private placement provider simply disappeared. And although the due diligence could check out from your perspective, it's a sophisticated game to play. The program director has somebody who's doing an arbitrage, and that's a sophisticated play to do. And you're kind of betting, hoping that arbitrage guy is doing his job and you get paid for what of fortunes that was promised to you. One of the things that I just want to offer up as an advice, because I get retained, my firm gets retained by clients to help do due diligence. I 100% understand personal greed. Like, I get personal greed. But I want to invite you to think from a common sense perspective. You have a lot of joker brokers that will say, if you put up $250,000 or if you put up $2 million, you're going to make billions next week. I just want to caution you and invite you to think from a role of common sense, just really common sense. If you don't want to retain us because we are very, very expensive, just put common sense in it. If you have $250,000, even I get what the platform does is prints money, virtually speaking, and puts up money. Or how likely is it for you to become a trillionaire? And if there's that likely for you, why isn't your next door neighbor doing it? Why isn't your ex-boyfriend or your ex-girlfriend or whatever else doing it? Like, I can't speak, and I can convince somebody if you're greedy, I can't convince you otherwise. But I just want to ask you to think common sense. So if you're looking to work with brokers, the good news is there's like millions of joker brokers out there. And there's a lot of questions that I ask these joker brokers to find out which ones are real and which ones have been successful. And I'm always asking the broker to introduce me to a training platform. There's 9 questions that I ask. I always have somebody from a former CIO, former FBI person on the call with me, who we drill down. We do background checks on the financial statements of the company, the platform provider. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do behind the scenes to authenticate these people. So things that's new. A lot of people have heard about the fraud that's going on. And so they're leaning towards a lot of high net worth individuals that are our clients. One of the trends I've started to see is that they don't want to put up 50 million or they don't want to put up 100 million. What they'd rather do is go get something like a standby letter of credit, because the SBLC just freezes, blocks the money in your account, and then you put up the SBLC for trade. And then the idea is that I'm not giving you $100 million, I'm giving you a $100 million SBLC. There are lots of, I shouldn't say there's a lot. There are a few private placement programs, trade desks that I can personally verify and say, yep, these guys will monetize using the SBLC. And I want to tell you, the authentic, real ones, there's no way $250,000 will make you a billionaire or $25 million is going to make you a trillionaire. Those are all the fake ones out there. But there are ones that the good news is you can kind of, come up with $100 million SBLC or $500 million SBLC or whatever the number is, and put it in a private placement program. I typically wouldn't do it if there's less than $17, $20 million in SBLC. I don't think it's worth your time. The cost of going and getting SBLC, I think, is a lot of work. And then the program director or the broker that you're dealing with has to monetize it. They typically call people like me because I like to think we're one of the leading monetizers on SBLCs. And then they're taking the cash to put that up. So that's one trend that I'm noticing, is a lot of clients are hearing about the fraud that's in the industry and are taking on more of a risk version, or they're taking less riskier programs out there. So that's a really good news there, and I love that. I like the idea of block funds, where somebody blocks money in your account. The challenge is that a lot of people participating in these programs, or people who want to participate in these programs, don't have $100 million. And so that puts you into something called a small caps program. And a small caps program, what you want to do is you want to find a syndicator, because what $100 million can provide for you and the group that's syndicating is very different to you having $5 million. The returns are significantly different. If you have a SBLC that you want to monetize, what you're looking for is a monetizer who is also a trader. And real authentic ones, the number is less than 5. I'm telling you this because people hire me on a lot of money to authenticate which ones are real or not. And I'm telling you the ones that can take your $5 million SBLC or $20 million SBLC and then put in a trade, the number shrinks down a lot. So those are some trends that I'm seeing. The other trend that I'm noticing is whether you're a millionaire, billionaire, or whatever, the amount of money you're putting up, there's an emotional reaction to it. It's like I'm putting up $6 million or I'm putting up $50 million or whatever it is. Filling up a CIS or KYC sometimes is it drives some kind of emotional nervousness. And so one of the things we started to do, and this was not an intended service for us to offer, was to actually have an experienced person like me or one of my associates on a Zoom call going through the CUIS with you for a fee. We don't do this for free. We do it for paid services. But we answer, why is this a MT799 and why is this a block and why is this, and help you complete the KYC, help you complete the CIS, answer all the questions you may have. Why do they need a picture of your passport, color photocopy of your passport, whatever it is. So we actually go through that emotional experience with you, and I find that just removes the nervousness for a lot of people. And that's pretty much a lot of the trends that I'm saying that I'm really excited about. I also want to warn you that, post-COVID, 90% of these platform providers were fake. After COVID, the number of platform providers or joker brokers went from 90% being fake to 99% being fake. And for you to participate in these programs, praying that you're the 1% is like trying to play the lottery. That's my experience. And I think that a lot of the brokers that you want to work with, if you ask them, hey, what's your biggest frustration? I think all of them will agree that the number of clients, prospective clients that they have, they simply can't close. And it's not that people don't have, in some cases, people don't have the money, but it's just because of the nervous reaction that people have to go through in giving, separating from $5 million or $25 million or $100 million on that. So my name is Taimour Zaman. One question that people ask me is, Taimour, how can you help us out? Well, the good thing, I don't know if it's a good thing or not, we're not a broker necessarily. We authenticate the platform. We get retained by the client to have former FBI, CIA people authenticate the platform. And we provide a background report on the banks or whatever information that we can get to give you to make a decision. We introduce you to lawyers who've participated with us or our clients in private placement programs. We review all the legal documents. We help fill up the CIS KYC for additional fee. We are lineofcredit.ai. So if you need a loan, our Rent a Rich Uncle program is the program that you can apply for to get you the loan you're looking for. You may have $5 or $7 or $20 million, but whichever joker broker you want to work with, probably that's not the right word for me to use, and I apologize for that, but that's just my experience of it. If you tell me you have $100 million, what you will see in returns is very, very, very different than $5 million. So we provide line of credit loan. And just given our experience in this industry, we know some of the platforms that are authentic and real. We know some brokers that are authentic and real. And so we are also, as an a la carte service, offer a diversification program. So if you've picked a program that you are engaged in, you want to move forward with, we can kind of be your backup, step in and authenticate and tell you our opinion of yeah go, no go, when it's a no go, why, and so on. But also if you want, we can then introduce you to some of the programs that we have. I want to be careful not to show, we don't want to be brokers, but I can introduce you to platforms that we know that are real. And if you choose to participate, you can participate with that. I don't have rates, or please don't email me what can you do with a $20 million SBLC? The answer is nothing. If you don't retain me, the answer is nothing. I'm not a joker broker. So, but happy to introduce and support you if to make the right decision on a platform or a bunch of platforms. I like diversification a lot. I can show you how to correctly, from a legal perspective, structure yourself, how to participate in a private placement correctly. I can provide some former FBI people as your team. I can help you deal with the emotion of filling up a CIS form or KYC and all the information. I can tell you what not to disclose, what to disclose. And if you need a line of credit loan, that's the core business that I'm in. My name is Taimour Zaman, and I look forward to the opportunity of working with you. Thank you.